Many producers are aware of this problem but are unsure of its root cause. Mycovellosiella fulva is frequently associated with this problem. Symptoms often manifest on both sides of the leaves and occasionally on the fruit. The illness first affects older leaves before moving on to younger ones. There are tiny, blurry-bordered, pale green or yellowish patches on the leaf's top surface. Just under the dots on the underside of the leaf are velvety, dark green, purplish-gray patches. These are areas of fungal formations that produce conidia, Conidia conjunctiva, and spores. Over time, as the spots enlarge, the color of infected leaves changes from yellowish to brown, necrosis, and the leaves begin to dry and curl. Leaves fall prematurely, leading to leaf drop when the disease becomes severe. Sometimes these fungal pathogens cause different symptoms in the flowers or fruit. Flowers may turn black and die before fruiting. Green and ripe fruits will develop irregularly shaped black, smooth areas on the fruit stalk. As the disease progresses, the infected area becomes sunken, dry, and tough. The symptoms described above usually develop under conditions such as Mycovellosiella fulva. The spores of this fungus can survive without a host for 6 months to a year at room temperature. They are not required to survive in those conditions. Prolonged dampness and humidity above 85% are favorable conditions for spore production. The spores require temperatures between 4 degrees Celsius and 34 degrees Celsius to germinate, with an optimal temperature of 24–26 degrees Celsius. Dry conditions and a lack of water on the plant surface are detrimental to its germination. Symptoms typically begin to appear about 10 days after transplanting, with the formation of spots on both sides of the leaf blade. On the underside of the leaf, a large amount of spore-producing fungal structures are formed, and the spores easily spread from plant to plant by wind and splashing water, via tools and equipment, gardener's clothing, and insects. The pathogen usually infects leaves by penetrating through the leaf stomata, breathing pores, under high humidity conditions. Some natural approaches you can try are treat seeds with hot water, 122 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius for 25 minutes to combat the pathogen on the seeds. The fungi Acremonium strictum, Dicima pulvinata, Trichoderma harzianum, or T. Viride and Trichothecium roseum are antagonistic to the mold M. fulva, and they can be used to minimize the spread of this mold. In greenhouse trials, the growth of the mold species M. fulva on tomatoes was inhibited by the fungi A. strictum, Trichoderma viride strain 3, and T. roseum at levels of 53%, 66%, and 84% respectively. On a smaller scale, spraying a mixture of apple cider vinegar, garlic, and milk can be used to control this mold. For more severe cases, growers sometimes use. Always consider the possibility of combining preventative measures and biological treatments to the extent applicable. The use of chemicals should be done before the plants are infected, when environmental conditions are favorable for disease development. Recommended preparations for field use are chlorothalonil, Maneb, Mancozeb, and chemical formulations with a copper base. For greenhouses, chemicals such as difenoconazole, mandipropamide, cymoxanil, famoxidone, and cyprodenil should be used. To help prevent this problem, use certified disease-free seeds, plant locally resistant or tolerant varieties if available. Plant early to reduce disease severity. Adjust spacing between rows and plants to increase air circulation and reduce leaf moisture. Monitor the garden for signs of disease and prune infected plants as soon as they are detected. Avoid over-fertilizing with nitrogen. Improve ventilation inside the greenhouse. Keep the nighttime temperature higher than the outdoor temperature and the relative humidity below 85% for greenhouses. Instead of watering the foliage, use a drip irrigation system. To maintain plants upright and let air flow around them, use pegs, wires, or thin out plants. After harvest, remove all plant debris and burn it. Maintain stringent hygienic requirements for gardening equipment and tools, as well as for gardening personnel, and clean the greenhouse between seasons. The top surface of the leaves is generally covered with pale green to yellowish dots. The undersides of the leaves develop dark green to purplish-gray spots. The leaves are twisted and dried. For more helpful advice on plant care,